Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be telling you that how basically we can build a OAuth2 Google login and logout system inside your Flask application inside Python. So you can see that guys, this is a screenshot of this application. So basically if you load this application inside your browser, there will be a login button out there, and if I click this login button, you will be redirected to the user screen where you can select your Google account to which you will need to log in. I will select my coding Shiksha account here, and after that it grants the permission and it will show you the name. Hello coding Shiksha, you are logged in. Your email address is this one, Gautam1997@gmail.com, and this is your profile picture. And also we have got the logout button also. So if you press this logout button, you will be automatically logged out from your account. If I press this logout button, you will see it will redirect me to the home page. And once again, if I hit this button, you will see it will again redirect me to. You can take any account. For example, if I take this account, I hit the same endpoint, localhost 5000. So again, will be the interface. So this time you need to grant this permission like this. And now you can see that basically it is showing you the name, email address, this one, logout button also. So once basically it saves it inside a database called as SQLite. That's why we don't need to continuously grant the permission. You just need to grant the permission only once. After that, it will store this information inside a SQLite database, which we will use inside Flask application. So SQLite database, basically, SQLite, it's a very popular database. So we are using this database inside this application to store the data. And also guys, we are using a Python module called as Flask. Flask, as you all know, it's a web application framework for building web applications inside Python. We are using this framework. And for building this OAuth2 login system, we are using a Flask dependency called as Flask-Login. This is the basic dependency we are using, guys. It's a package which makes things very much easy in order to implement this functionality. So we are using this module. So simply install this module by this pip install Flask-Login command. So for all the full source code, guys, I have written a complete blog post on my tutorial website, and you can read this blog post alongside with watching this detailed video. So I will be going into the minute detail of this tutorial, so you can copy paste all the tutorials. So if you have any sort of confusion, you can even buy the full source code. There is a option right here, you can buy from Visa card or UPI bank. So there are two options out there. So let's start building this tutorial. So first of all, guys, I will delete this database and start from scratch and show to you how basically it is done. Let me first of all stop this application which is running here. So let me delete this database and also delete this caching folder as well. So whenever you get this will be the directory structure of this application, guys. So here, this is the information that you will need. I will show you how basically you can get this information. This is the client ID and the client secret. You can get this information inside Google Cloud Console. So basically, in order to use Google APIs, you need some kind of authentication. So let me show you how basically it is done. You need to go to Google Cloud Console, create an account, and click on this create credentials button. Click on OAuth2 client ID, and the application type will be web application. And inside this authorized JavaScript origins, so this you need to put the home page of the URL. So basically I am developing it on HTTP localhost. Port number is 5000. So this is the home page that you need to put, and the redirect URI is basically the URL that to which the application will redirect whenever you grant the permission. So we will be redirecting the user to this URL, HTTP localhost 5000 /login/callback. This is the URL. So make sure that you put your own URLs. So once you create this, you will get your client ID and client secret, and simply you need to paste it inside this env file, environment file. This is your client ID, and this is your client secret. So this information is very confidential. That's why we are storing it inside this environment file. So like this. So once you load this application, guys, Once you do this, you again need to grant the permission. So whenever I run this application, first of all, it will initialize the database. You will see this SQLite database file is created and this PyCatch folder is also created. So whenever you run this for the very first time, and now your Flask application will start on port 5000. You will see that. Now if I once again start this application, localhost 5000. So once again, I need to, you will see this is the application. Click on login and you will be redirected to the account page. You need to select your account once again and you will see that this information will be triggered. So very simple script. Let me show you how basically it is done. So inside this schema.sql file, guys, you will see this is the SQLite database, and inside this we are creating a table which is called as user. So basically it contains these three information that we are displaying it on the screen here. You will see this is the name of the person, which is coding Shiksha. This is the email address and this is a profile picture. So these three fields we are storing it inside this table. ID is the primary key of the table, so it's auto incremented. Name is text, email text, and profile pic is also text. So they are not null. So this is the table that you need to create. So for the requirements, guys, we are using this request module, Flask, OAuth library, py OpenSSL, Flask-Login. So you will get all these files whenever you purchase or want to do it manually. Also, you can just copy paste this code and simply there is a command out there inside pip. So basically you can install all these dependencies as at once. So simply type this command pip install -r requirements.txt. So this will install all the dependencies which are present inside your file here. You will see that one by one it will install all the dependencies. You will see that. So after this you just need to run your project. Simply write python app.py. So at last, so in this way you can do this process. It's very simple. So now let's get started, guys, by building this script from scratch. So let me delete all the source code from app.py and let me write this code step by step. So first of all, guys, you need to import the JSON module and operating system. These are all built-in modules. SQLite 3. This is for the database, and here we need to set a environment variable, guys. This is very important because we need to set this OAuth2 library underscore insecure transport. So this variable need to be set because we are building it on localhost. We are not building on a live website. That's why we will be using the protocol HTTP. So that's why you need to set this option to 1. And then we need to import the Flask module, guys. From that we need to import the base library of Flask. And then we need to import the redirect module for redirecting the user to different pages, request and URL for. And also we will be importing the Flask-Login module, guys, Flask_login. From that we need to import some methods out there. So it contains a login manager class, and also it contains a variable of current user to keep track of the user, the state of the user, whether it's authenticated or not. After that we have the login required. This is for the validation. The user must be login and login user. So this will contain the information about the logged user and logout user. This is a method used to log out a user. So these are different kinds of methods available right off the bat for us for implementing the authentication. So this makes it very much easy. After this, guys, we just need to import our OAuth library, and from that we need to import the OAuth2 version, and from this we need to import the web application client. So there are two options out there. You will see in the drop down we need to implement the first option, which is web application client, this one option. So we are building it on the client side, that's why. And then we need to also import the request module, guys, also. So request, that's it. So these are all the dependencies which are there for this project, guys. And from internal dependencies from the database file that we have defined, you will see db.py. So this contains all the database code out there. So here we are connecting to the SQLite underscore db, which we have created. You will see that it is doing the connection here, and basically it is connecting to the SQL file which we have defined right here, schema.sql. So all this database related code is present inside db.py. So we just need to import this file inside our base project. So we will be doing this. So from db we need to import the command, which is init db command, and from the user file, the user model file, we need to import the actual model, which is user. So if you check, this is the file user, and basically we are storing three variables: id, name, email, and profile picture. So basically we are initializing the database, selecting all this information from a database using the select statement, and then in order to insert, we are using the insert statement. You will see that. So I think if you studied SQL, you will be knowing what these statements do. So inside we are just fetching all these libraries, and now we just need to basically, guys, configure the client ID and the client secret. So Google underscore client underscore ID. So we can do this using the environment variables. We can get the first will be the client ID, which we have defined. So this will be Google underscore client underscore ID, and comma. The second parameter is none here. And similarly, we will say Google client secret. We will also get this using the same one, which is Google client underscore secret. So this needs to be same, guys. If you see inside env file, this needs to be same: Google client ID, client secret. These keys needs to match. So we are fetching it from the environment file. After this, guys, we need the third option, which is the discovery URL. This is necessary. So this will be nothing but a static URL that we need to pass here, which is http accounts.google.com. So this is a URL from which you will select your accounts. So it is present inside this folder, which is well known OpenID configuration. So inside your root directory, you will see basically it has created this PyCatch, and basically it is fetching from here. So this is done. And now we need to initialize our Flask app. We will simply say here Flask name. So this will start this Flask application on port number, app.secret key, operating system environment, get secret key. So you just need to set a secret key, guys. So we are just getting a secret key, or you can, if this is not set, then we can simply just generate one using urandom variable 24 character secret key. That's it. You can even set it inside your environment variable as well. Just create a secret key here. So after this, guys, we will simply start this Flask application. In order to start this, it's very simple. Basically, you just need to define a if block underscore name is equal to main colon, and here we can app.run, and here we can pass the option debug to true. So this will start your Flask application. So basically, if you just run this application now, python app.py, you will see that it will start this application 5000. If I load here, nothing will happen. You will see not found error is coming because we haven't configured any sort of route. So here we just need to configure some route. So for configuring it, guys, first of all we just need to initialize some variables. Let me delete this file here, which is there, SQLite DB. So the file is deleted. Let me also delete this file also. Yeah, so nothing is present. So now we just need to create a database, guys. So first of all, after you do this, we just need to initialize the Flask-Login. So we need to make a login manager class, and this will be login manager. We will initialize this. So you can see we are importing this from the Flask-Login. So it will initialize this constructor, and after this login manager, it basically has a method here which is initialize app, and here we will pass the app that we configured, which is the Flask app we are passing here. So after this, guys, we just need to initialize a handler here, which is the login manager handler, unauthorized underscore handler. So basically, if any sort of unauthorized people has entered in the application, we will initialize this method for them. So inside this, we can simply return a statement: you must be logged in order to access this content, like this. So this simply means that if someone enters without authentication, we will simply print out a message like this. So this library is very much helpful in printing out these error messages. Now we just need to create, basically, guys, we need to call this initdb command that we are importing. Basically, this will create the database for us inside, except we can simply say SQLite 3. If any sort of operational error take place, in that case we can simply pass. So with this line of code, guys, if I now execute it, you will see my database will be first of all created. Python app.py. In the left hand side, you will see it will create this SQLite DB and this PyCatch folder. So now if you execute for the second time, it will start the Flask application. So after you do this, guys, it will only execute for the only one time, because it will create the database. After this, guys, we just need to configure our OAuth2 client. This will be web application client, and here we just need to pass our Google client ID simply like this. So this will configure your OAuth2 client, and then, guys, we just need to basically initialize a helper login manager. Once again, we will use user underscore loader. This is the one, and inside we will initialize a function. Whenever the user is loaded, it will have its own user ID, and basically we just need to return the user with the user ID which is given like this. Basically, we will fetch the user based upon the user ID given. And now we will be initializing the home route, guys. So whenever user visits the home page, so basically whenever user visits the home page, what should happen? We will initialize the index method, and here we will simply say if current user is authenticated, in that case we will display the information. So there is a property here which is called as is authenticated. This simply means that the user is logged in. So this current user, we are getting it from the Flask-Login. Once again, you will see that we have successfully imported at the very top. And right here, guys, we just need to return some message here. So we can simply return something here. Let me just do this like this. And this is our if statement. And we can even have an else one also. If the user is not authenticated, in that case we will simply return a Google login button. So inside the single quotes, we can just write, so we can have a return statement here like this. Just wait. So this is your statement, guys. You will see this is the login button. If I now execute this, what should happen? So it will automatically restart. You will see this login button is executing it because the user is not authenticated. So if I execute this, you will see not found. We need to write this code here /login. So whenever user go to this page, we need to write some code for this. So once again, we will initialize a new route for this endpoint, which is simply a get route app.route /login. And here we will have a login method. And basically here, guys, we will simply get the configuration URL. We will define this variable, and basically here we just need to define a method here at the very bottom, which will basically return the information for us inside a JSON response. So this is the method basically just declare it at the bottom. So it simply basically will return the information for us. We will pass the Google discovery URL. So this will simply get the information for us, and it will store it inside this variable, which is Google provider. So here we just need to provide a simple information here, guys. Authorization underscore endpoint, like this. And after this, guys, oh sorry, this is just like this. And after this one, we need to get the authorization underscore endpoint. So we can get this using Google provider configuration, and basically it is an array. Basically it is a property here, which is authorization underscore endpoint. And here we just need to basically prepare the user, and we will simply say request underscore URI, and we will simply use this method, which is, you can also get a access token, you can also add a token as well. We will use this prepare request URI. This is request URI, and basically, guys, it takes some options here. First option it takes is the authorization endpoint. We will simply pass it. Second, it takes the redirect URI. So this is very important, guys. Whatever you configured inside your Google Cloud Console, you just need to replace the same value here. So simply replace this value, authorization. So simply copy this value. We can even write like this in dynamically also. In my case, which is the base URL of the application, which is localhost 5000, and then we can concatenate callbacks like this. This is the redirect URI. So scope will be whatever scopes that you want to do. We need OpenID, we need the email scope, and we will also need the profile picture as well. So profile. So whatever scopes that you need here, you can provide here like this. This is the redirect URI, guys. Basically HTTP localhost 5000/login/callback. So after you do this, guys, basically we just need to redirect the user. So for redirecting it, we will use the redirect method and simply pass this request URI. So what it will do, guys, basically whenever you click the login button, if I now execute this application, so if I go to the browser, click on this login, so it will load this. If I now simply go to localhost 5000, click on this button, so it will basically say it is saying that your let me select it for a different account because this is already authenticated. Let me select this account. You will see as I hit this endpoint here, it will redirect me to the account page, and here you can select your account. And as I select your account, guys, basically you need to handle this callback URL. You need to get this authorization code here, which is there after question mark code is equal to, you need to get this value. So in order to get this value, we need to initialize the endpoint where we can simply handle this. So just after this, we will define a route, simple get route. So this will be the callback URL, which is /login/callback, and this will be a callback function, and inside this we need to get the authorization code. So we can simply get this using request.arguments.get, and we will get the code property here, which is the authorization code. And with the help of this authorization code, guys, we can now get the access token. So again, we just need to repeat the same process here. This is slightly big code, guys, so simply write it. So first of all, you need to say Google provider configuration, and we can simply get it using this method that we defined, and we can get the token endpoint. So we can simply say this is an array, so we can simply now fetch the token endpoint. This will be for the access token. And now we again need to prepare the token URL, guys. So we need to basically extract token URL headers and the body. So we can simply say client.prepare token request. So this is a method we will use, and inside this it takes the token endpoint, and the second parameter it takes is the authorization response. So this will be the simply request.url, guys, request.url, and the third option it takes is the redirect URL, and this is equal to the base URL of your application request.base.url, and the fourth one is the authorization code. So this is equal to code which we have configured. So code is equal to code. That's it. So now you just need to basically get the access token, guys. So just make token underscore response variable, and here we can simply make a post request, and inside this post request we will pass the token underscore URL. We will pass the headers which we got headers. We will pass the data which is equal to the body. So we can see we are passing the token URL headers body, which we just extracted. You will see headers body token URL, and the fourth one is the authentication. So this will be for the, we will pass here Google client ID and the Google client secret. So these two things we will pass here inside authentication. This is basically an object. And then, guys, after doing this, we will simply get the access token using, we will client dot parse request body response. We will use this method, and basically it will parse the response, and we will simply say json.dumps, and here we need to get the access token. So access token is there inside token underscore response dot json. That's it. So now after this, guys, we will simply, now to fetch some information about the user, it's very simple. Now to fetch the user information, we will simply make use of this access token. So we will simply say user info. We will define a variable user info underscore endpoint, and here we will again use this array. So this time we need the user info underscore endpoint. So after doing this, we just need to get the URI, the headers and the body. So we can again use this method client. This time we will use the access token. We will use the add token method, and here we will pass our user info endpoint after this. So user info, now user info response, and here we will simply request dot get, and here basically we will pass the URI, we will pass the headers and the body. Basically it's a get method, not a post one. So headers, we need to pass the headers, and the next property is the data property. So data is equal to body, and after this, guys, we just need to print this information, basically user info response that you get. We can convert this into JSON. So this will be the information such as the profile picture, name and the email. So now we just need to display this information, guys. So for displaying it, we will have a if condition user info dot response JSON, and if it contains a property which is email verified, in that case we can display this information, and we can fetch the information, guys. First is the ID of the user. So this is present inside user info response JSON, and inside this property sub. And similarly we will have for the email as well. User's email, next one for the picture, profile picture, and this will be under picture. And next one will be the for the username. So again, user response JSON, and the key here is given name. That's it. So if the user is not authenticated, if the email is not verified, in that case, guys, we will simply say to the user that user email not available or not verified by Google, and 400 error we will say. And now we just need to insert this user inside our SQLite database, guys. So we will simply say create a new user of the class user, and here we will pass the ID underscore is equal to the unique ID which is generated. We will pass the name as user's name. We will pass the email which is equal to the user's email. And lastly, we will pass the profile picture which is the picture. That's it. So that's all, guys. We just need to add this. So basically here we will have if condition. If not user.get, we will first of all get the user by the unique ID we will pass. If the user is not present, then we will simply create the user.create. We will pass this information, user's name, user's email, and picture. And after this, guys, we will start the session by calling login user and simply user like this. And then we will simply redirect back to the home page. So redirect, and here we will use URL for and simply redirect to the index page. So here we will call index like this. So now we just need to move to the index page, guys. So here we just need to display the information. So in this if block, so we just need to display this information that you see on the screen. So this can be a simple template, guys. So I can simply copy this code. Simply copy this. You will get all this source code in the description. You will see this message, you are logged in with this email address, this profile picture, and this, you will see that. Now if I load this application, the application is started now. If I refresh it, click on this, so you will see basically it is saying insecure transport error and must utilize HTTPS. So I think, guys, you need to set a property as I mentioned you. This is the property. I think I made a mistake here. If you don't set this property, you will get this error that I am getting right here. So just make sure that you set this before OAuth. Sorry, this needs to be OAuth library. Just make this change and now you will not get this error. Click on this, so you will see now it will display this information, guys. You will see this is a profile picture, coding Shiksha logged in, and the logout button. So if I click this logout button, guys, you need to first of all write this endpoint. So it's very simple. Just write this endpoint for the logout functionality. It's very simple. We will simply write a route, app.route for the logout. So whenever person just press this logout button, we will make a logout function here. And this contains a method, guys, logout user. We import it from the Flask-Login, and then we will simply return to the home page. Redirect URL for index. You will see that simple 3 lines of code. That's it. So now if I refresh it, so now you will see that Gmail login, you will see that. click on logout, you will be redirected to the home page. So once again, you will see that. It's very simple, guys. This is the full OAuth2 Google login and logout system that we developed from scratch inside Flask. All the source code is given in the description of this video, guys, in the blog post. Please hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you in the next one.